Heya Cryptozens, tonight's show. Nomad bridge drained, SEC charges 11, and Binance US Delists AMP. It's 10 p.m. Pacific time. The date is August 2nd, 2022, and welcome back to the Crypto Overnighter. My name is Nikodemus, and I'll be your host. The cover model, mascot, and co-host for this podcast is Tex, and together we take a nightly look at the crypto, NFT, and metaverse space and the industry that surrounds it. Keep in mind, nothing in this show should ever be considered financial advice. Well, here we go, all over again. Another day, another bridge attack. What's interesting to me on this one is the participants. Seems like good guys, bad guys, all sorts of guys and gals in between took part. And that's just the start of the weirdness. Okay, let me back up a bit. So the Nomad token bridge. Nomad is a token bridge that allows transfers between different networks. Avalanche, ETH, Moonbeam, Milkopedia, and EVMOS. Early this morning, August 2nd, Nomad posted an alert. They posted that they were aware of an ongoing exploit. They were aware of it and seemingly powerless to stop it as more than $190 million were drained. Yep, it appears there was a security exploit. And this exploit opened up the piggy bank to the hackers as they systematically drained a substantial portion of the funds. This was over a long series of transactions. Now, they didn't drain it dry. The good guys still have some $651.54 in their account. That said, the bad guys got away with over $190 million. Or did they? At least that's what it looks like. But this whole thing is weird. The suggestion has been made that some of the funds were withdrawn by what Nomad are characterizing as, quote, white hat friends. Apparently, some of the hackers were wearing white hats as they got money out with the intent of safeguarding it for Nomad. One possible such person is a Twitter user by the name of NotifyBot. They posted on Twitter, quote, "This is a white hack. I plan to return the funds. Waiting for official communication from Nomad team. Please provide an email ID for communication. I have not swapped any assets even after knowing USDC can be frozen." So this started around 2:30 p.m. Pacific time yesterday. And it looks like it kicked off when someone got 100 wrapped Bitcoin out. That's $2.3 million in tokens stolen from the bridge. Now, shortly after that, the warning bells sounded and the community was notified. A couple hours later, around 4:30 Pacific, Nomad confirmed. They said that they knew about the, quote, incident involving the Nomad token bridge and that they were currently investigating the incident. Now, Nomad said in an email that they know at least some of the people involved were friendly, I guess you could say, and that they promised to return the crypto when it was safe to do so. They said, quote, Nomad has notified law enforcement and is working around the clock to address the situation and provide timely updates. Nomad's goal is to identify the accounts involved and to trace and recover the funds. Nomad is grateful to its many white hat friends who reacted quickly to withdraw and safeguard the funds. Now, you usually find out about a hack when it's over. Usually after the funds are gone and someone's trying to withdraw or whatever, and the money isn't there. Axie Infinity went a week before anybody found out about that hack. Not the case here. This hack came with an open door policy. Okay, let's say you have money on Avalanche and you want to move it to Ethereum. What happens is that bridge locks up your Avalanche and then issues wrapped Avalanche in a wrapped form on the Ethereum. Now, apparently, a recent update broke Nomad's smart contracts. And that break allows users to spoof transactions. That's right. And that means that people could withdraw money from the bridge that didn't actually belong to them. According to one analyst, Twitter user SamZZSun, quote, "You didn't need to know about Solidity or Merkle trees or anything like that. All you had to do was find a transaction that worked, replace the other person's address with yours, and then rebroadcast it. That's why you'd see, for example, transactions with exactly 202,440.725413 USDC. That exact same amount, those transactions executed over 200 times. Now, Moonbeam, they've gone into maintenance mode. Quote, to investigate a security incident. Bad timing on this. You see, Nomad had a fundraising back in April. On Friday, they tweeted that OpenSea, Coinbase, and some other companies had put together a fundraising. That valued Nomad at $225 million. The rally continues, barely. At the time of writing, the global crypto market cap is $1.07 trillion. It's down 0.26% in 24. The top 5 cryptos by market cap are Bitcoin down 1.18%, Ethereum up 0.27%, Tether, USDC, and Binance Coin up 0.52%. Yesterday, the Securities Exchange Commission charged 11 people for promoting Forsage. Now, Forsage is allegedly a crypto pyramid scheme, one that has scammed more than $300 million. They're calling it a, quote, textbook pyramid and Ponzi scheme. Now, for their part, Forsage bills themselves as a, quote, decentralized networking platform based on smart contracts that connects people from all over the world and opens the limitless possibilities of the new economic financial system. Well, the SEC apparently disagrees. That's why they went to the United States District Court in Illinois on Monday and filed charges. Charges that see the SEC alleging that the founders and promoters of the platform used, quote, fraudulent crypto pyramid and Ponzi scheme to raise more than $300 million from millions of retail investors worldwide. The SEC says that Forsage was set up so that investors got rewarded based on recruiting new investors, which, if true, sounds like a typical Ponzi scheme to me. This scheme allegedly spanned multiple countries, including the U.S. and Russia. In fact, 4 of the people charged were last seen in Russia, while 3 are in the U.S. Now, those 3 in the U.S. are part of a U.S. promotional group called the Crypto Crusaders. Now, you have to be careful sometimes because anything can look like a Ponzi scheme and be just fine, while other things can look just fine and be a sophisticated scheme. According to SEC, a Ponzi is a scheme that pays existing investors with money collected as investments from new members. The only thing that they sell are lies and broken dreams. Now, the SEC charged, quote, the Forsage platform, did not sell or purport to sell any actual consumable product to bona fide retail customers during the relevant time period and had no apparent source of revenue other than the funds received from investors. The primary way for investors to make money from Forsage was to recruit others into the scheme. The SEC said that the way that Forsage's alleged scam works, a person first sets up a crypto wallet, and then they buy slots. See, there's money coming in from the new investors. That's what they're calling a downline. Now, buying a slot entitles you to a cut of that. Also, something called spillover, which is really just profit sharing. Now, Caroline Welshans is the acting chief of the SEC's Crypto Assets and Cyber Unit. She called Forsage a, quote, fraudulent pyramid scheme launched on a massive scale and aggressively marketed to investors. So they're charging the 4 founders, Vladimir Hotkinoff, Jane Doe, a.k.a. Lola Ferrari, Mikhail Sergeyev, and Sergey Maskalov, and they're also charging 7 promoters. All of them are getting charged with unregistered offers and sales of securities and fraud. The case has been building for a while. September of 2020, the Philippines SEC hit Forsage with cease and desist orders. March of last year, the Montana Commissioner of Securities and Insurance did the same thing. But despite their legal troubles, their Twitter page is still active. They're still posting YouTube videos. In fact, if the founders are all in Russia, it's going to be very difficult to get them to stop. I doubt that Putin is entertaining requests from the SEC these days. The global NFT market cap is up 2.13%. Sales volume is down 1.28% in 24 hours. According to CoinMarketCap, the top 5 NFT collections by sales volume are Nina's Super Cool World, followed by Bored Apes, Mutant Apes, Other Deed, and Sharks BSC. Now keep in mind, some of these collections have very volatile prices, so do your own research. Binance US says that they're following the guidance of the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission. So to that end, they're halting all operations that has anything to do with AMP. That starts on the 15th of August. The U.S. division of the world's leading crypto exchange has decided to drop AMP. That's because of a recent enforcement action involving a different American-based exchange, Coinbase. Yeah, I have a feeling we're going to be hearing about the fallout from this for a long time. So remember the Wahi brothers and their friend? One of them worked for Coinbase. Now he would tell his brother and their friend what coins to buy before they were listed on Coinbase. So the feds went in and had their investigation. Well, the Securities Exchange Commission decided to tag along with that. They paralleled their own investigation in there. And in part of that investigation, they decided to file charges based on unregistered securities. That's right. The SEC identified 9 different cryptos as securities, and AMP is one of them. Now, mind you, there is no court case. There's been no finding by a judge or a jury that AMP or any of the other 8 tokens were securities. They're not bringing in a CEO or anything and making them testify. The SEC just decided that these 9 tokens were securities, and that was good enough to charge the defendants with fraud. That was good enough for Gensler and good enough for the SEC. Well, that was good enough for Binance US as well, and I don't blame them. Binance updated the company blog, and in that update, they said Binance is committed to, quote, transparency and consumer education. They said that they support the SEC's requests. They said that their listing process includes something called a digital asset risk assessment framework. And even so, they stand ready to be flexible with the SEC's demands. So when the SEC announced that AMP was a security, Binance said that they would delist it. That's the only one from the list that they carry. So that means from August 15th on, you cannot use Binance to buy or sell AMP, which they expressed some ambiguity around that. They said that they could bring the token back, quote, until more clarity exists. As we like to do on this show, let's take a look at the numbers. Currently trading at just over 0.8 of a cent, AMP took a 10% header straight down on the news. At the time of writing, they have a market cap of $353 million. Now, it's not hard to see why Binance is being so accommodating. They've had their share of run-ins with authorities last year. In June of 2021, the UK's Financial Conduct Authority issued Binance a warning. Binance failed to get prior permission from the FCA before operating in the UK. A couple months later, they settled up with the agency. They've had issues with Italy, Germany, the Netherlands, and South Africa. It seems Binance's CEO, CC, attributes the issues to their decentralized nature. He said, quote, "When we first started, we wanted to embrace the decentralized principles. No headquarters, work all around the world, no borders. It's very clear now, to run a centralized exchange, you need a centralized legal entity structure behind it. And that work may be paying off, as Binance has gotten approval to offer crypto services in France, Italy, and Germany." And that's going to do it for us tonight. I want to thank you, my listeners, because when you stop listening, I will stop talking. You stay safe out there. Watch out for yourselves, but watch out for each other too. We'll see you tomorrow night.